All right, welcome back to another episode of the Stop and Pop. I got Johnny here to talk about the Lakers this upcoming season and the expectations because the Lakers have a lot. So I want to get your insights on it.
Yeah, man. If I'm being honest, as much as I love the Lakers, I see it being extremely tough for them to come out the West this year. Uh,
Mm,
I don't see an easy path at all. I think in the standings they could potentially be top four, but it's a chance where they could be on the outside looking in again. In the play-in situation, just depend on how it shake out.
mm. So, what did you think of them last season with that deep player push against the Nuggets, ultimately beating them? But what do you think about that? What do you think about all like those smart comments that they had at each other?
I didn't see a way for them to beat the Nuggets at all. I want to say they beat the Warriors the round before last year, didn't they?
Yeah,
That
and
kind of
then
caught
and
me
they beat
off
Memphis
guard.
the first round. Memphis, then the Warriors, and then they lost to the Nuggets.
Yeah, I expected them to beat Memphis. Dylan Brooks was talking reckless. That's why they got him out here in Houston now.
Hmm.
Uh, the Golden State situation kind of caught me by surprise. I thought Golden State would be able to handle them. Um, Denver was a different animal. Joker and Jamal Murray, man, that's a mean 1-2 punch for Anthony Davis, who inconsistently healthy. Uh, I'm not a fan of really many of the guards that the Lakers have. I'm not a big Austin Reeves fan. I think he can hoop one. I think it was Nick Young said he would rather have no Nick Wright. I'm sorry, said he would rather have Austin Reeves over Bradley Beal. It's like, bro, what you smoking on?
Exactly. I was just like, come on, bro. Like, let's not forget who Bradley Beal really is.
Yeah, and for
Hmm.
some reason, when players change teams to play with other stars, whether it was KD leaving Golden go OKC to go to Golden State or Bradley Beal or the Paul George, we forget that they still hoop regardless of what team they're on or what jersey they wear. So
Hmm.
I just think that the West overall puts the Lakers in a interesting spot. Phoenix got better. Denver is going to be right back there. Kyrie is going to get settled in with the Mavs. You always can count on Zion and them to be kind of up and down. You really never know what you're gonna get. That young
Hmm.
boy from the Spurs, man, he's super exciting to watch.
Wembyama, yo, man, I was watching him the other day against the Heat. I was like, come on, bro. Like, how is this even possible? Like he had blocked he's just against the Warriors, and he had blocked Wiggins' jumper like a few times.
Yes,
Blocked Clay, and I'm just like, how do you even shoot over this? Like I
and
was watching a
also
video
slide his
earlier.
feet playing defense.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
he's really mobile. Like I was literally just watching a video of the Mavs. They have like like the defensive things for like to measure your height and everything to like
yeah,
shoot over it. They had it for Wembyama now. Like they had
bro.
to double it up basically.
Yeah, he a different type of animal, bro. I
Hmm.
look forward to what because when you see him move, he doesn't look like he would be that agile. He doesn't look like he'd be that good on his feet. It honestly look like one of his legs is about to break every time he do something.
Every
But
single time.
but the step back, the snatch between the legs, man,
Hmm.
you know, I don't see really a way to guard him if he keeps growing.
Hmm.
Like legitimately, when Jordan got good, the Pistons in the '80s start getting rough with him and physical. Well, you can't do that in today's game. So,
Hmm.
what adjustments do you make to guard somebody 7'5" that can handle the ball and shoot?
Ain't much you can do about that because all the handle he has is like you that size and you're dribbling like you're a guard, and
Yeah,
it's not like he's losing the ball or anything. Like it's literally fluid with his handle.
and you can't hand check. There's no
Hmm.
defense can't stand in the paint, so they got to be wide open. So
Hmm.
I don't know who you throw at him. You put a big man on him, he gonna blow by him because of how good he move his feet. You put somebody
Hmm.
small on him, he's just gonna pull up over the top of him. So I see him being how Steph changed the NBA with his shooting. I think this dude is about to change the NBA strictly off his size and his skill.
Yeah, definitely because it's scary. Because do you think Chet is the his rival at this point?
No, I think he has a huge gap on him, man.
Hmm.
Honestly, when Porzingis came into the league, he is what I thought Porzingis was going to be for the Knicks. I
Yeah.
thought the Knicks got a
Mm-hmm.
unicorn, and I know you're a big Knicks fan, bro. I thought they was about
Mm-hmm.
to take off when they got him. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm disappointed on how he panned out, but I'm also excited to see him with the Celtics this year. I think this is his redemption season.
I think so. But honestly, like, he played good with the Wizards. It's just that the Wizards weren't that good.
Yeah.
But he was really good last season. People was watching the Wizards because I was like, huh, like he's really putting on for them. But I, with Boston, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's going to work. But I think what ultimately it comes down to is like who's going to start alongside him. Is it going to be Horford, or is it going to be put Tatum at the four and they start Derek White at the shooting guard position? Like that's I think what ultimately is going to unlock the Celtics.
Man. I right now in my heart, I still got the Celtics slightly over Milwaukee on coming
Mm-hmm.
out the East. I don't see Miami getting up there again. I don't think them doing 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like I feel like they lost a lot of pieces this offseason. A lot of players that surprised them, like Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, and everything, which was two of their starters
Yeah.
for most of the season and throughout the playoff run. So I don't see how Miami is going to bounce back and get back to the finals.
What you think about Dame not going to Miami? You think it was some tampering going on, or you think it was just Miami couldn't come up with a good deal?
I think Miami just going to come up with a good enough deal, and honestly, it was tampering all the whole time. Like I remember seeing a video of Jimmy Butler basically playing Miami, the Will Smith song in the
I remember that.
background.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, come on, like we all know. And then now Jimmy's all salty about it. Came to the press conference, talking about this is his emo phase. I'm like, bruh, this is
Yeah.
too much. Mm-hmm.
I think Dame would have been nice in Miami though. Dame and Jimmy would have been dope. However, I like Dame in Milwaukee as well. I've seen a few articles that Miami's defense is going to take a big hit losing Drew Holiday. What you think about that?
Um, you mean on the Bucks, right?
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah,
Sorry, yeah.
yeah. So I think it's definitely going to take a huge hit. Um, let's be real, Dame is not the defender like Drew Holiday is in any stretch of the imagination. And because Drew can guard one, two, three, and sometimes he guards fours.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely going to take a hit. I think they're going to put up a lot of scoring numbers, like because Dame, you know how Dame is with his scoring. But
Yeah.
I think ultimately they're trying to make Malik Beasley the stopper on defense. He's
Yeah.
not known for his defense, but they say he's putting in the effort to be that. So I gotta see how that's gonna work out because Dame and Malik is that could be food on defense.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, remember how the Celtics used to hide Isaiah Thomas on defense? I could see
Mm-hmm.
the Bucks doing something like that to have him out there as an offensive threat only.
Yeah, I could see that happening because I mean you still got Giannis, you still got Chris Middleton, you still got Brook Lopez, all good defenders. Um, what did you think about the whole poll that came out saying Giannis is the best player in the league?
I'm indifferent, right? Because I'm a guard, so I'm naturally want
Mm-hmm.
to favor a guard at heart. But man, watching his evolution in the game, how big he is, how much he's working on his ball handling, his shooting,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to argue against it. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
it's really hard to put up a good argument on who can stop. A lot of people like, oh, Giannis ain't got no bag. When you that
Mm-hmm.
big, you that strong, you don't really need a bag. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Mm-hmm. I mean, he worked with Elijah. He showed some of the moves during the preseason. Some of them ended up being travels and everything. So I think he's still trying to learn it. But I don't know. It's he did one move and I was like, okay, like that was nice. Like I could see that was something from Elijah.
Yeah. The NBA travel is something that's evolving to me because
Mm-hmm.
what's the actual rule? Is it's 2.5 steps, right?
It's a gather step. So when you bounce the ball, when you pick it up, that's your first step, the gather step.
And then you still get two more after that, right?
And then you still get two more.
See, to me, in my mind, that's a legit
That's a
travel.
that's a travel. Like I don't get how like I guess James Harden because the way he did it. So literally like bounce the ball, you pick it up, you can take a step there, and then you could take another two. And I'm like, what? How? Like,
Yeah, that's what I don't get, and
mm-hmm,
that's also why I think that it's so much scoring, and that's
mm-hmm,
why it's so explosive because that
mm-hmm.
so that even if like I said 1, 2, 3, it just naturally feel like it's three. But
Basically.
but I think that's gonna help. A lot of players. Somebody like a De'Aaron Fox that helps them.
Mm-hmm,
Somebody that's so quick. That you're like, hold on, did he take 2 or 3 steps? You're not sure. At the
mm-hmm,
same time, I see that working in a player like LeBron James' favor because he's the
mm-hmm,
oldest player in the league. Refs ain't trying to call a bunch of stuff on him, so he could be one of the players that really gets to take advantage of that gather this
mm-hmm.
year and get a few
Yeah.
more buckets.
Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be good for him, especially LeBron. Um, he's the oldest player in the league now, right?
Yep. I
Oh
think I said
wow, yeah.
Brian and then PJ Tucker and then Chris Paul.
Okay, Jesus. Okay, yeah.
And it's
So
crazy
what?
that
So
the
what? So what is
oldest
Kyle
player,
Lowry? Because isn't Kyle Lowry up there too?
he up there too.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But I was gonna say it's crazy that the oldest player is 38 because if you go back and watch, let's say like the 90s highlights, bro, Karl Malone looked like he about 40, Moses Malone, all of the men just
Yeah.
look real old. And now the NBA is
Mm-hmm.
such a young game. And
Mm-hmm.
athletically, I think that helped the game. But as far as a will to get better and physical toughness, it's hurting the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, what about the whole load management
I'm glad
things
it's
that they try to
over.
do?
I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
glad it's
I think
over.
I think they're still going to do it, but I think that the NBA is going to crack down on it. But I think players are still going to do it regardless.
I wonder how they crack down on it. I mean, like, for instance, Kawhi Leonard, is he legit has an ankle sprain? Is he really sore tonight, or is that just low management?
Yeah, I mean, if you sore, just play. You're gonna be sore after the game regardless. So it's like,
It
why
is
not just play?
the evolution of humans, man. The safer the world gets, like the softer we get. If you think back to the 60s, NBA players still have full-time jobs, and then
That
you
is
get to
true.
the
Yeah.
70s, when they was traveling charter, on buses. And then remember
Hmm.
when the finals used to be the 2-3-2 because of the travel was so far.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
everybody got private jets. They got a masseuse on the plane. You got your own chef. So being healthy to play all of these games, I think you'd be perfectly fine compared to they was thugging it out in the 80s. Get elbowed by Isaiah and them and snatched out
Exactly.
there.
Exactly. Like all the advantages that they have, and they're still trying to miss games. Do you think they should cut back on the games? Like, do you think they should make the league 70 games?
No, I think I mean, when we were kids, we could go outside in the summer and play all day. We didn't need no
Hmm.
water. It was
Hmm.
110 degrees.
Hmm.
And so with how accommodating the NBA is, where the minute you go sit on the bench, is somebody to come ice your knees for you. Oh, you sit there for 5, 10 minutes, you good to go back and play. So no,
Exactly.
no, I if anything, I think they could handle more. Well, I guess I'll look at that from a different perspective. From an NBA perspective, they don't need to play less games. However, a lot of these kids, like my sons, he in the 5th grade and they're already traveling. you
Hmm.
know.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
so when you think of somebody who played from 5th grade all the way to the NBA, that's a lot of basketball. That's a lot of wear and tear on your body. So I think you
Hmm.
got to minimize it, prior to getting to the NBA. Do I need to play on an AAU team that wants to play 75 games traveling?
Hmm.
That's that. And then the prep school you go to, they got a 50-game schedule. And then you go to college and they play about 40 games in college.
Hmm.
So I think it's all about the process up to getting to the NBA on what your body can handle.
Yeah, I think a lot of players do say how it's a lot of basketball in between before you get to the NBA. I remember Kobe was talking about how AAU was basically ruined basketball in a way because all of the games you're playing back to back to back is like a lot of basketball, just a lot. Kids are gonna get tired and they're gonna get broken.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And man, a lot of the like I said, my son is in the 5th grade, so I have one 4th grader and two 5th graders. They all play on the same AAU team, and while I love watching them play, man, it's so much money that goes into this system. I mean, they got what 4 different jerseys, bro. They got 2 different warm ups. They got backpacks. They got all
Hmm.
of it, and it's just like they can't even do left hand layups.
Wow.
But they got all this fancy gear, so it's just a lot of it that's killed the game as well. Because you got kids who don't even really want to play; they just want to be able to look good.
Yeah, that's
versus
true.
we were just playing in t-shirts and shorts.
Like we just had whatever was around, we just could wear it
Yeah,
just for playing.
remember like the no blood, no foul, and pulling your t-shirt because whoever got a bucket first got this tennis shoes and all that.
Exactly.
It just you from New York, so I know you seen the Through the Fire, Sebastian
Oh
Telfair. So
yeah,
you get what I'm
man.
saying.
hmm Man, those documentaries were so good. Man, I miss those type of tapes. Because now
Yeah,
all the tapes today is just like a bunch of highlights, you know,
hundred
things like
percent.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, all right, where are we gonna get back to like real basketball where it's like, all right, we have the highlights and everything, but like, where's the whole how can I put it? The whole game being respected and just not just trying to cheat it and just show highlights just to look good.
Social media killed that though.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
So
it's bad.
it's a
so
way to get easy scholarships, and it's a way to not, it's to hide your flaws. I like as much as I love Kentucky basketball, I
mm,
think that's why so many players go there. It's because you really can't see what you're not good at until you get to the NBA.
that's a good point.
Isaiah Briscoe struggled.
Mm-hmm.
What was the twins? Aaron and
Oh yeah, the Harrison twins.
yeah, they struggled. So you get
Mm-hmm.
to see out of Kentucky who can really play and has a full developed game, and then you
Mm-hmm.
get to see the ones who really ain't got it.
Yeah, but Kentucky has put up a lot of good players like
Oh yeah,
Devin
for
Booker.
sure. Devin
Mm-hmm.
Booker, the De'Aaron Fox, the Malik Monks, but they had a complete
Mm-hmm.
game. But then
Yeah.
we can go also look at the full list of Kentucky players who, man, they seemed like they was gonna be nice,
Mm-hmm.
and they just didn't have that dog in them like it seemed like they did. Like I was going, what's somebody like Enes Kanter.
Oh yeah.
He
Mm-hmm.
went to Kentucky. I think he was ineligible to ever play,
Mm-hmm.
but he seemed like he was gonna really be a dog in the NBA, and he never did.
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Briscoe in college was mean, and he mean in
Mm-hmm.
the big three, but in the NBA he just couldn't get over that hump.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the big three? Like a lot of players are going there to play, and a lot of the older players
Oh, I love it.
is has any of um prospects thought about going to the big three to get to the NBA? Is that a thing?
I don't know if I think at first the age limit was like 30, and I know this year they dropped it down to 22.
Okay.
But I know the NBA isn't a fan of the big three at all, which
Yeah, they're
I,
not.
I see it as a huge, competitive league. Because what's stopping Ice Cube from this year going 3-on-3, the next year we going 5-on-5?
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
because
true.
he's in the culture, he got all the ex players, he know all the rappers. Man, that's easy to pull something away from the NBA. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole reason they snatched Jackie Robinson away from the Negro League because they didn't want competition.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Mm-hmm.
so I can't see the NBA really allowing the big three to thrive. But it's super exciting to watch. Man, my sons love, they young, so they didn't get to see Mike Beasley. We knew Beasley could hoop. They didn't
Yeah.
know that, so it's
Mm-hmm.
certain players that they get to watch. They like,
Mm-hmm.
Daddy, who is that? I'm like, man, he was a killer.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Like I like seeing like the older players there now, and like a lot of them still in good shape.
Yeah,
Some of them could probably still play in the NBA. Honestly, like I mean, Joe Johnson was like back to back
dude,
MVP out there.
dude.
So
The NBA confuses me. Like how somebody like DeMarcus Cousins ain't in the league. Like, granted, he ain't who he used to be, but you
mm-hmm.
can't tell me out of all these rosters that somebody couldn't use him just to get a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Even like is Dwight Howard in the league or no?
Nope.
Yeah, see,
He's still in Taiwan, but I think I was reading something today that the Suns are thinking about bringing him in.
my guy Ishmael got cut by the Suns yesterday. Ishmael Wainwright, he's from Kansas City. I grew up playing with him my
Mm-hmm.
whole life.
Oh
His,
wow.
yeah, his pops used to be our trainer.
Mm-hmm.
Believe it or not, man, his little brother Ahmad is way better than him. He just couldn't stay out of trouble, but Ahmad really nice.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my next question is, do you think AD is going to play 82 games? Because they're talking
No.
about him. They're talking about him getting MVP. I'm like, man, he got to play at least 65 games now for even to qualify for that award now.
Yeah, I did see something where he said he was going to play all 82, and I see it when I believe it.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis isn't a disappointment. Like I don't want anybody to take that when they said it. But remember, there was a time when the Celtics was thinking about giving up Jason Tatum to get Anthony Davis.
I remember that.
That would have destroyed their franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean when I say he hasn't lived up to the hype that was put around him, because he was on the caliber of being traded for Tatum, and we see what Tatum has grown into. And then I think
Mm-hmm.
we all can agree that we thought putting AD with LeBron, oh, that's really about to be nice. And it hasn't panned out the way I thought it would be at all. I haven't, Brian said he was giving the keys to AD and letting AD drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
The transition ain't really happened yet. It's still Brian's team. Brian is
Mm-hmm.
still Batman, and AD is still Robin. And I'm waiting on Anthony Davis to really embrace that dominant role. But honestly, in Kentucky, I don't really think he embraced it. They had a good squad,
Mm-hmm.
but he never took over and just killed the way he could have, the way he should have, the way he still can.
Yeah, definitely agree with that. Because I know he played good this year when he played, but ultimately, if the Lakers were going to be in that position, I think the MVP is still going to LeBron.
Yeah.
Like it's just they're not going to just give it to Anthony Davis.
No way. And
Yeah.
I seen that the Lakers said they wanted, AD shooting more threes this year. I don't really know how I feel about that, bro. Maybe that's because I grew up in the era where we came down the
Mm-hmm.
court because we had to throw it to the big man before we could just jack it up. But I don't know.
Exactly.
It's something about a post player that, can do a shoulder shimmy or a quick spin and get a roll. I think that's more beneficial to AD game to get a bunch of and ones and easy buckets versus out there on the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
He don't shoot consistently enough for me to respect his jumper.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I know he struggled a lot last season with his jumper. There's something like he had like one of the worst um percentages for jump shots
Yeah,
ever. I'm like, yeah, he need to play in the post a lot more.
yeah. And I don't understand, the desire to have so many 6'11" shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something I'm missing, but
That's just the game today. Like
but you
everybody
got
wants to shoot.
you got a 38-year-old LeBron. You don't need Bron and AD on the wing at
Mm-hmm.
all. I mean, you got Christian Wood as well. No, let AD sit down there and get the boards, get some putbacks. I mean, Christian Wood is probably a more consistent 3-pointer shooter than AD. We know
Yeah,
Austin Reeves
definitely.
is more consistent. D'Angelo Russell is more consistent on shooting three. So I can't see the reason to have another big man out there on the perimeter.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me at all. I think he needs to play in the post, be strong down there, grab some rebounds, get some easy buckets, and then that would be what drives the Lakers to hopefully winning it all if they can.
Imagine if AD could get, because he's smaller than Shaq, right? But imagine if
Mm-hmm.
he can get like a little bit of Shaq dominance that he had in the early 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
Shaq couldn't shoot, AD can. So if you could get AD to put on another 10, 15 pounds of muscle, really
Mm-hmm.
dominate the block,
Mm-hmm.
where they get he make his free throws a lot more consistently than Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like I just
Yeah.
see that could be his role. How Dwight Howard was when it was like 08, 09, when Dwight Howard was killing in Orlando. I could
Mm-hmm.
see Anthony Davis being that type of player if he really wanted to. He seems more of a finesse player, not a power player.
Yeah. I agree with that. So who else are you looking forward to watching this year?
Man, it's
I
always
guess,
a joy watching Kyrie.
oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh
But
yeah.
I'm starting to fall in love with Trae Young's game.
Mm-hmm.
I really like watching Trae. And
Mm-hmm.
watching the USA was the first time I got to see that the New York guard. What was left hand dude? Um,
Definitely.
he just Jalen Brunson.
Oh, Jalen Brunson. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Jalen Brunson is nice,
his
man.
game is pretty nice, man. I didn't know Scoot
Mm-hmm.
Henderson that just came
Mm-hmm.
out. So man, I love guards and I love the evolution of how crafty and creative that they're getting. I also think the combination of D Rose and John Morant could be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Just because how D Rose has evolved the way he plays, he's still a killer, but it's on the low. But
Yeah.
I really
Mm-hmm.
feel the same way Zion's name got smeared all on the internet. So Zion gonna come out and try to
Mm-hmm.
hoop. I think
Yeah.
Jai gonna come out and really try to prove a point as well.
I agree with that because I was actually just watching a team preview of the Grizzlies, and they was talking about how got Marcus Smart there, bring Derrick Rose, and then they could be like the leaders in that locker room because they need some leadership.
Mm-hmm.
But one of their leaders is out for the season now with Steven Adams.
I
They
seen
just
that.
announced today, yeah, that he got season-ending knee surgery. So I'm like, that's gonna be a damper because Jared Jackson Jr. He's all right to me, but he's just like you're 7 feet. You gotta grab more than 6 rebounds a game. And
Yeah.
then like in the USA basketball, he was only averaging like 3 rebounds.
That's what I said though. They've embraced that guard mentality. You know what I'm saying? So they're not
Mhm.
big man no more. They going through the legs, hitting the behind the back step backs. But
Mhm.
the Dennis Rodman era of 0 points, 25 rebounds, that's over.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, which is crazy. Like that's a real skill, and people need to really embrace that.
I can say when I was younger, I didn't appreciate it. The Ben Wallaces of the world, you know, I'm
Mhm.
like, he's sorry, he got 2 points. But man, now you understand, bro. He was playing fantastic defense. He was getting 13
Mhm.
rebounds a game. He did his
Mhm.
job and earned his money. So
Mhm.
as I evolve, man, I look back at like a player like Udonis Haslam.
Yeah.
Never
Mhm.
probably got over 10, 15 a game, but was very
Mhm.
valuable to a team.
Mhm. Yeah, I like how Udonis has grown into like that leadership role, staying with the Heat after all these years, and he still works out with the Heat. He's
Yeah.
retired, but he's still there with them.
Yeah.
He gonna end up probably being the coach for them.
Oh,
Mhm.
for sure, real soon. Yeah, I see a lot of
Mhm.
that happening. I didn't know Chauncey Billups was the coach of Portland.
Yeah.
From my
Mhm.
perspective, I would think Dame would want to play for a guy like Chauncey, unless there was some other stuff that was going on in the front office. I think that'd be a perfect opportunity for Dame to sit up under Chauncey and soak up that wisdom.
I mean, he played with him last season, played the last 2 seasons actually. Chauncey was there, but they just couldn't really get over the hump. But
Yeah, it seemed like they
Dame
didn't
had missed
mesh like it
time.
should have. Yeah,
Yeah, Dame had missed some time, and then I don't know. Portland to me over the last few seasons, ever since they got rid of McCollum, I was like, they just don't have it no more. Like they had signed the grandkid. He's okay, but he's not gonna be somebody who gets you over the hump.
yeah. They
Like
just got a lot of
I
bad breaks over the years too, man. When
mm,
they had Brandon Roy and Greg Oden, I thought that was something to look forward to. I really like Brandon Roy's
yeah,
game. He
me
was so
too.
smooth.
Me too. I used to really love Brandon Roy's game. Him and Marcus Aldridge.
Yeah, he was Paul George before Paul George.
Yeah, yeah. He's too smooth, man. Them knee injuries killed him though.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
I'm
So
excited to see the Clippers this year as well.
oh, all right. I'm in a weird space with the Clippers because I like seeing them play, but it's like Kawhi always missing games and Paul George. I put the onus more on Kawhi because he's like kind of the poster boy for this low management thing. Paul George, I legit think he'd just be hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, so like and then now they got Westbrook back,
I like
which
Terrence Mann.
but why they don't want to trade Terrence Mann for James Harden? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't know. I don't know because you know if anything, when I look at the Clippers, I personally think they should have held on to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
I think he has a fantastic upside,
Mm-hmm.
and to see him keep growing, and you know Russell's up there in age, Paul George's up there in age, Kawhi's up there in age. You know, in
Mm-hmm.
3 years, the Clippers won't be back to what they used to be. You know,
Yeah.
realistically, unless they can pull something out. Versus OKC is still building. But yeah,
Yeah.
I would let go of Terrence Mann for Harden. But man, I think Terrence Mann and Tyrese Maxey would be nice together.
That's what I'm saying.
That'd be
So
exciting to watch.
that's what I'm saying, but I don't like the idea of James Harden, Westbrook, Paul George, and Kawhi all playing together.
Dude, that's the All-Star team.
I know that's what I'm saying. It's like, but for the All Star game, cool. But over a regular season, how I don't think that's gonna work. Like they all need the
I don't
ball
know
in their
how it
hands.
work either. I don't it'd be fun to watch, but
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't know how it will. You know, all of them need the ball, like you said, but also all of them because you know are catch and shoot. Well,
Yeah.
not Russ. He ain't the greatest catch and shoot, but James Harden's
Mm-hmm.
catch and shoot, Kawhi catch and shoot, Paul George catch and shoot. So I
Mm-hmm.
can see that working.
Mm. I mean, I don't think the trade's gonna happen now because supposedly Maury's like, if you're really serious about holding a Terrence Mann, then trade Paul George.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think it's gonna happen.
I seen is James Harden skipping practice or what's the situation? Is he showing up to training camp or is he playing in preseason games or any of that?
He didn't play. If I remember correctly, he didn't play no preseason games. He missed 2 practices from what I was reading. So I'm not sure the exact situation going on there.
Why do you think
But
he keeps ending up in these situations? He went through this in Houston, if I'm not mistaken. He
mm,
went through this in Brooklyn, if I'm not mistaken. Now in Philly,
mm,
is it the organizations or is it the player?
I think it's a little bit of both. I'm probably the organization, the player not being on the same page, as like as far as like pay and play style. Maybe maybe they asking Harden to do one thing, and Harden wants to do another thing. Because I heard that supposedly he wanted to go back to Houston this offseason, and he told Ime Udoka he wants to get back to being that
I saw that.
scoring title player. And Ime was just like, nah, we're not going to have that.
Why would you want that? Why would you? That's the most ignorant thing he could have said out of his mouth. I want to put up 35 a game again.
Exactly. Like, come on, bro. Like, your best opportunity to win is with Philly at this point. So why not just stick it out?
Yeah. No, the Rockets, they haven't recovered as well from the James Harden, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook debacle. That was terrible.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I seen a scenario where it said that James Harden could end up in Miami, but I don't really see that playing out either.
I don't think that's even a good idea. The way James Harden like to go out and party and everything, Miami.
I guess you're right.
No, Miami's the one place you don't want him to be. But I mean, granted, Harden put some numbers regardless of the situation. Like somebody was saying, like comparing to Allen Iverson when he used to go out to the clubs and everything. I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
I get it, but it's like at the same time, like I understand, like James Harden doesn't show up playoff time. So it happened. But even though he had a decent playoff run this last season.
You know, I think James Harden had his best playoff runs when he was with OKC. Since then, he hasn't been able to handle the pressure. And that's why I don't think it's hard to say he don't deserve the money because he's MVP, yes, he's a scoring title. But how Paul George is like, I had to realize I'm not that guy. For James Harden to win a championship, it's gonna have to be like OKC when they had KD, they had Russ, they had Ibaka, and Harden was just a piece. I don't see him being a star on any team.
So you think he'd have to be like a third option type dude?
2 or 3, yeah. I think that's the hardest part in the NBA is for a lot of players who can really hoop, but they not gonna win a championship by themselves. Like Kevin Durant can hoop, he not gonna be a number one. Bradley Beal can hoop, he not gonna be a number one. Versus Kyrie didn't want to be a number 2. You get what I'm saying? It's it's something inside the players' heads, and it's not many of them that want that spotlight. And it's Kyrie, it's Bron, and then the list kind of gets empty. You know, who consistently wants to take that big shot. Sometimes Devin Booker wants the moment, sometimes he don't. Sometimes Jamal Murray wants one, sometimes he don't. So it's real hit and miss. But Kyrie is the one player. I mean, whether it was for Cleveland or it was Boston or it was Brooklyn, he wanted that shot with 5 seconds left. I really think if somebody who slid their foot under Kyrie when it was Brooklyn versus Milwaukee Eastern.
I think it was Giannis.
Yeah, if that don't happen, I truly think Brooklyn wins the championship that year. I think Harden get a ring, Kyrie get a ring, KD probably get Finals MVP between him and Kyrie. Nobody was stopping them that year.
Yeah. A lot of people were saying that they probably don't win it all. I think ultimately, we look on that Nets team, we look back at it now, it was just a disaster all around.
Yeah. Because even went to send the KD's foot was on the line when he hit that shot, or it would have went to overtime, but I'm saying they lost the game. So yeah, man, that they was right there on the cuffs of really, and man, that would have done so much for KD's legacy. He can't win without help. Kyrie was out. He didn't have Steph. That would have really put him over the hump, but that's how the ball bounces sometimes.
But I'd like to thank you for being on, bro. Always a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure talking to you about hoops and everything, because you're very intelligent when it comes to basketball. So I appreciate you on here.
Oh, man, I appreciate you for the opportunity. Are you still covering all the Wizards games this year?
Yeah, I'm trying to contact somebody to get at the games, but for now I'm just doing a lot of sports writing.
Okay.
For now, so hopefully I could contact the media, they'll get back to me, and then I could go to the games again.
Okay, well, if you get some Wizards tickets, Wizards versus Lakers, Wizards versus Spurs, Wizards versus Mavs, you got a couple extra, hit your boy up. I might be able to make the trip to check out the game.
All right, Ben, I got you, bro.
All right, man, I appreciate you, man. Have a good evening.
You too, man.
All right.
All right.